So we're going to talk about dehydrating. I love to dehydrate stuff out of my garden, and I just started doing that a couple of years ago. And before that, I used up way too much freezer space, freezing a lot of that stuff. And then I started canning, but a lot of things are better done dehydrated, and they store better and easier. And so I just want to show you a few things that I have dehydrated that I have in my shelf. And so I have onion. We done this onion. I have a video on that we just done about a week ago. Have a whole jar of onions out of our garden that we dehydrated. We have mushrooms. We have tons of these. I have dried saddle mushrooms, and these are the chanterelles. I also have chicken of the woods. These are some of the chanterelles that I got from Tracy and Gons over at Leap of Faith Homestead, and we have a video on that. And so we have onions, mushrooms. I have bell peppers. We've got a whole lot more bell peppers coming, and I'm gonna dehydrate. I'm gonna dehydrate a bunch of those. So there's our dehydrated bell peppers we've got so far. We're going to have probably a whole big jar of those by the time we're done. And then the tomatoes. And I'll show you that. Let's put that aside because I'm going to show you. I'm going to put the video where I was dehydrating these. And then we also have our jerky. Lee makes deer jerky and beef jerky, and there's some of that. I've also got a few other things. I've got a little bit of kale that I dehydrated, and maybe a couple other things. I can't think right this second on all of them, and I didn't pull them all out. But anyway, so here's what I was going to say. I love this. This could make a soup right here. You could make a homemade vegetable soup out of all those. I don't know that I'd put this in there, but you might could. Guess you could. It'd be tough. But I would use these for sure, and maybe a little of the kale, and anything else, or just these, whatever. You could make a homemade soup just out of that. Homemade vegetable soup. So, but I love to throw these in soup, or in some of them in chili, scrambled eggs, omelet, anything like that. So I love dehydrating some of my goods. And I'll show you about the tomatoes, because I had done a video on dehydrating the tomato. So we'll get to that right here. Here's some dehydrated cherry tomatoes. I have tons and tons of cherry tomatoes. Of course, like everybody else, I like to use them in salads, and I like to cut them in half and saute them a little, and then break eggs in them and have scrambled eggs with sauteed, tomatoes. And so I have so many that this year I'm dehydrating a whole bunch of them. I dehydrated a little bit last year, but this year I'm going to have tons. So I'm dehydrating those in halves. And I'm going to fill up a jar with them, and then I can just use those anytime in soup, chili, my eggs, whatever. So that's what I've got going on here. I love dehydrating. My dehydrator is probably one of the best things that I have purchased for homesteading to me. To me it is. Besides a canner maybe. But, so these are just excellent. I actually think they probably could be a good snack even if you wanted to. But I will mostly use them in chili and soup. And so I bought my dehydrator. I bought a Presto dehydrator. I would love to have a bigger, better one like the Excalibur or something, but I got it for $15, and it had only been used a couple times, and you could tell it was like new. And I got it on a barter and trade site online for $15. So it only had a couple of trays, And then a subscriber sent me more trays and these well, I can't think what they're called right now, but you know, these things. And so I really appreciated that. That was a wonderful thing to get. And so now I have like 8 trays that I can use. And I love dehydrating. So there you go. I've got 3 trays right now of these, and I'm gonna have plenty more. I'll probably fill that jar up in no time. I have a small jar. I have a pint jar already in the pantry from last year, and I've only used just a little bit out of it because I also had frozen some, and I've used those up because I don't like to use all my freezer space for stuff like this that could be dehydrated. So, so I'm trying to use up all that kind of stuff in the freezer that could be dehydrated and save my space. So there you go. Got about a half a jar there of those, and that will be wonderful and come in handy. I do not have the air vacuum thing or anything. When I do get one, I'm going to get the brake bleeder, like Heidi at Rain Country shows on her channel, and she has the brake bleeder and vacuum seals these. I'm going to do that. I really need to do that and save, be able to preserve my stuff even longer. So I'm fixing to invest in one of those, and when I do, I'll show that and show you how that works. Or you can go to Heidi at Rain Country and check her out. She uses her brake bleeder for vacuum sealing all the time, and it's a wonderful idea and is way less expensive than a vacuum sealer. So I'm gonna invest in one of those real soon. But one thing that I do always do is put these little packets that I get out of anytime we buy any beef jerky, which it's not a whole lot because Lee makes his own beef jerky, but when we run out and maybe we're out somewhere and we buy beef jerky, it's got the little packets in it. There's other things that have these packets in them, different foods and things that'll have these little packets in them, and I save them in a jar, and then I put one in anything I've dehydrated or anything like that. And when we make our jerky, or when Lee makes our jerky, we put a packet in there like that. So always save those. I just took a jar and started saving them up, and I put them in anything like that, our jerky or dehydrated foods or stuff. So those come in real handy, and that helps. I know I had rather vacuum seal it, but until I invest in a brake bleeder and all that, I use these, and it helps a whole lot. So thank you for watching, and give us a thumbs up and a comment, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and watch us on Friday nights. We have a live show on Friday nights at 9 p.m. That's Central Time, and we have lots of fun. We talk about all kinds of different topics, and then we have a little fun. So just come and join us there, and let's have a nice chat.